Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm actually even like making this series. Hello and welcome to my first wedding vlog slash wrap up of what I have done so far for my September 2024 wedding. So a little backstory is that I have 44 days to go and we are planning the whole thing in just 3 months. Me and my boyfriend of 8 years got engaged in April and we decided to kind of just get married, and instead of waiting until next year or even 2 years after, we would get married this September and then on our 1-year anniversary have a reception with extended family and friends. This September wedding is a micro wedding and just basically immediate family. I was really excited this morning to sit down and film this, but as of filming this a few moments ago, I found out that our cake vendor canceled on us. And as you can imagine, already trying to find vendors for a wedding 3 months out is stressful and a lot of work, and it's like a whole full-time job. And then for someone to cancel 40 days out is scary. So I'm kind of in a tailspin, kind of annoyed. We've already been through a big cancellation of our original venue, which is a whole other story time, and I'll probably do that on TikTok, talk about it more once I do like a final wrap up of everything. But yeah, so I was gonna say I finally picked out my wedding cake flavor, but I guess I really haven't because they canceled. But everything that I have actually done in July with 44 days to go. Here we go. So I know this is technically the end of June. This was the last 2 days of June, but we picked up the actual engagement ring. Things were very unorthodox, but this round diamond is from my fiance's grandmother's engagement ring, and the pear-shaped one is my grandmother's engagement ring. So we wanted to combine them into one ring, and there's just a whole lot of stuff. I didn't want him bringing diamonds over to Italy. That's where we got engaged. So we bought like this cheap $30 ring, and that's what he proposed with and what I wore, and then we got this custom made. So it just took a little bit of time, but I have it. I love it. It's so beautiful and so sentimental. And it came just in time because then we did our engagement photo shoot. And I know it's kind of like silly to do an engagement photo shoot when just 2 months later we're having, you know, our wedding day shot, but it was like all add-on to the actual wedding day. And we don't have like a lot of nice professionally done photos, as I'm sure is the case for most people out there. And it was really fun. It went so well. The photos turned out even more amazing than I could have thought and hoped, and our photographer is just so like friendly and easygoing and just totally understood the vision and everything. So it was definitely nice to like meet her before the day, understand how she works, talk through some things instead of just like meeting, you know, right then and there on your wedding day. So we got all of those back about 2 weeks ago, and I really honestly love like all of them, and it's hard to decide which ones to like print and hang up. I've shared a few on social media, but there are like a ton more that I'm sure I will be annoying with. I also had my second dress fitting just this past Monday, and it went really well. There's just 2 other adjustments that need to be made on the dress. So at the end of August, I'll have the final one, and then my mom will pick it up just a few days before the wedding. We are getting it like steamed and pressed, so we don't have to worry about that. And I feel like weddings are a really good time to kind of be like, leave some things to the professionals, and steaming and pressing your wedding dress is one of those things. During that fitting, I tried on like all my accessories as well to make sure that everything looked good, and it did, and I'm very happy and excited. I will be doing a full, like, these are the dresses that tried on that I didn't buy. I went to Kleinfeld, so I'll also do like a review of kind of like going to Kleinfeld's and that whole experience, because it was certainly an experience, but that is not where I got my wedding dress from. I have like my list here. So I basically purchased all of my decor. I would say the really big things like our candelabras, the bud vases, the tablecloth runners, frames, the card box, the guest book, the cake stand, fun little accents. Like I bought a light up cheers sign. I bought a sign that says treat yourself that will go on the cake table. I know, very millennial, but it's a Park and Recs reference, and that's like one of me and my fiance's like favorite shows. We're very April and Andy coded, so it was just appropriate that I got it. We have lanterns for the ceremony. We finished up the welcome garden box sign, which my stepdad created, and then me and my mom did the flowers, and it turned out so amazing. I love it so much. I see a ton of people like selling theirs, and I totally get it, but I think I'm just gonna wind up keeping mine and using it for like outdoor decor, thinking I can buy like an outdoor shellac and kind of use it like that way. Obviously I'll pull off like our names and stuff from it, but it's just so cute. I don't want to get rid of it. Along with that, we created all of the bud vases. So I chose to do fake flowers for a few reasons. One, I don't feel very strongly about having real flowers. I love flowers. I like the way they look, but I don't know. It was just never one of those things where like I have to have real flowers. You know, all the flowers have to be real. I don't know if it necessarily matters. So we decided on fake flowers, also because we can do a lot of things ahead of time. Like the garden box is done. The bud vases are all done and created and packed away. Because for next year we are having the full reception, and we plan on reusing most of this decor. You know, it can keep, instead of then buying like 2 separate full sets of flowers. It's just kind of one flat fee, and it can be reused. So that was really helpful. Oh, I bought all the floating candles for the candelabras and tested to make sure they worked. They did. I bought lighters that, like, you know, you can bend so someone's not trying to like light with a cigarette lighter in there. I've created the QR code place cards that we're gonna have set around. We're using guest picks, and I chose this one because I felt it was reasonably priced, and also everyone could just upload all their photos that they take. You can see what photos other people are taking. The guests can download any photos from that album, and it just requires a QR code. It doesn't require an app or anything else, which was really big, because nothing is worse than like having this like extra entry to use something, especially another app. I don't want another app. I don't want to make guests download another app. So it was really nice. It seems really simple. It's all set up, and getting that printed through Canva. I'm in the middle of designing the rest of our signs, so like our signature drink sign, our favor sign, our guest book sign, and we're going to print those ourselves. I bought pretty like pink textured paper that I'm just gonna run through. We got our first set of thank you cards. I bought like a pack of 20 thank you cards with one of our engagement photos on them. Just, you know, some people have kind of like purchased things for us already, and I didn't necessarily want them to wait until like after the wedding to receive a thank you card. I also plan on writing handwritten thank yous to our vendors, and, you know, including the tip money in there, and just kind of like to have them just in case. But once like the wedding happens, I plan on then getting like, hopefully, I kind of forgot the timeline for everything, but getting cards with then like a wedding photo on them. All the stuff for the bathroom baskets is purchased. I just need to put those together. We finished the ceremony arch, so we are doing a grounded arch with just a bunch of potted flowers, and so that was completed I think it's gonna look really, really pretty. A bunch of other little things like the bubbles for the recessional, the tissues I purchased, and we ran through our like preliminary, what we want set at the ceremony, how we want it set up with our officiant, which is just my stepdad, so super convenient. We purchased like a flute set and a cake cutting set for that, although at this point, who knows? I had my hair and makeup trial, which went really well. I was really, really nervous. I like my hair and makeup to look a certain way, and I do find it therapeutic at times, but I think again, it was like, okay, like who knows what's gonna come up on your wedding day, or how nervous I'm gonna be, or what's gonna go on. Maybe I should leave this to a professional. I found a wonderful makeup artist who, you know, didn't have any minimums or anything, and she did an amazing job. My hair just moved as like one unit, which was great. My hair's half up, half down, and like I want the look of the down, but I don't want the annoyance of it, and having it kind of like move as one unit was great. My makeup stayed on for like 5 hours. Sure, I got shiny, but I'm an oily girl, so that's gonna happen. And I had a little cracking right around my lips. Again, not odd. I was eating, talking, you know, drinking, doing stuff, so that wasn't a shocker, but it was great. Rented a car. I have a small car and just everything we have to bring down because we are DIYing most of it. I was like, it is not gonna fit in this car. So I rented a larger truck to take everything down, and even with that, I think we are going to have to like bring some stuff down for this trip down to the shore in like mid-August. I filled out the marriage application and sent our IDs off to the county so they have them, and then I just have to bring that stuff with us when we go down mid-August to like do the oath, and then I have to like pick up the marriage license separately a few days before, and then all that stuff like will get returned through the officiant, and then we'll get our marriage license. Just a quick little rant. Do I find it kind of crazy that the like state has to get involved? Sure, but is what it is. You know, like our wedding website is done. We are just waiting on a few more RSVPs, and then I can do the place cards for that. I still have to create our like sip and solve, and a few more like putting baskets together, especially the bathroom baskets, and then the totes for like the bridal suite and the groom's suite. Like, you don't realize going into it like all the teeny tiny things where you're like, do we have enough safety pins? Do like we have enough deodorant or tissues or oil blotting pads, or like enough changes of shoes? Speaking of, I am still debating on if I want to just bring an extra dress just in case for the reception. I did see a TikTok that was like, you know, this is the first time you're going to be wearing your dress for an extended period of time. You don't know how it's going to feel after a few hours. Even if you necessarily don't change, never use it, it might just be a good idea to buy a dress. I like kind of have a few favorited that I'm thinking of, because definitely for next year, I'm going to like wear my wedding dress, but then I really am going to change into a reception dress because it's going to be like dance party, where this is more like sit down dinner vibes. Which reminds me about my wedding dress. This is such just a stream of consciousness. But I do need to buy like my getting ready clothes for that. And we're having a brunch the next morning, and I'm kind of like, oh, should we get like these like death do us part, till death do us part shirts, or I don't know. There's just a lot of things like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? You know. All those last minute things. Speaking of the wedding dress though, this is what I forgot. During that, we spoke about doing a bustle. And because of the way my dress is, it would be a 5-point bustle, meaning like 5 buttons. And the seamstress basically said, if you are not planning on, you know, dancing a lot, or if you plan on changing, then there's no point in doing the bustle. So we decided not to do one. It was going to be really expensive anyway. It's $20 per bustle point, so it would have been $100 on top of an already pretty expensive alterations. I think in the like full wedding wrap up, I will go through all of like the major cost of everything, just because I think cost transparency is really important. I think you see these beautiful, gorgeous weddings, and because you probably have no concept, you know, me included, of what things cost in the wedding world, you're like, oh yeah, like one bouquet of flowers, you know, that I buy for myself at ShopRite's like $20, so can't be that much. And you're like, oh no, because it has the label wedding on it, it's costing like 3 times more. Just all of it. You're like, oh, people are spending like $50,000 on weddings. Where are they getting the money? What is going on? I think that's pretty much all of the major stuff. You know, going into this last month, it is putting as much stuff together as possible before the day, finalizing timelines, everything, you know, with the vendors, with ourselves, what's going on. We have a meeting with our venue and our coordinator there coming up as well, which will be really good because I have a lot of questions. Like, we are kind of in the middle of like booking our honeymoon. We're honeymooning after, like way after, like in February. And first I said St. Lucia and gave a budget, and the travel agent was like, you can't really go to St. Lucia for that budget, so here's close, but you're only going for 3 days. And I was like, that's not really a honeymoon. So then she gave us other options, and the one she chose in the Dominican Republic looks really nice. Like, I'm like, if we go, I know we're gonna have a nice, wonderful time, but it just wasn't like on my list. I think I was very much like, I want to go to St. Lucia for my honeymoon. So I'm personally kind of like, what do we do, knowing the other expenses we have next year? I have 2 weddings next year where I'm bridesmaids in both of them. So just like bridal shower, bachelorette parties, the dress, the hair, all of that stuff, lodging, plus the reception that we want to put on. It's a lot. It's going to be a very expensive year. So I think I'm struggling with the cost of everything next year. Like, I'm very worried about how much everything is going to cost, and just trying to find like a good balance between what we want, what's possible, you know, just all of it. It's hard. I think maybe besides like buying a house, there's like so much money that you're spending at one time, and it's scary. It's a little scary. So yeah, that was everything that I did in July, most of the major things, and there will be probably one more monthly check-in. Then I'm hoping to do like a real like a vlog of like 2 weeks before, but we'll see. I feel like I might be like so crazy. I'm like, I cannot think of this camera right now. But I hope this helped. If you have questions, advice, I would love to hear from you. If you're planning a wedding, good luck, best wishes, congratulations, peace be with you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.